Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are once again. Gary Common Council meeting, first meeting of the year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we're going to have a pretty interesting meeting on tonight. Looking forward to all of our listeners and all of our viewers checking us out. So we got a few minutes, and I'm going to keep it on so that folk can come on and join in with us. And look forward to sharing this experience with the citizens of the city of Gary as well as those around the country. So stay tuned.
Thank you. Oh, you didn't expect more than that. You know how haters do. Let's see.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. We'll find out real fast.
I guess they put me in the corner. We just got our committee listing, and it's not even 5 people on the committees like it normally is.
Can't do it.
It's 3.
I can't do it.
This is funny. Good evening, Councilman. No, I got one.
I'm looking at this. Remember this when we got this way back at the beginning? Orientation for new council members? I was just looking. I don't see anything in here either.
No, it's nothing in there.
Oh, here's this part. I think this is what I printed out today. Well, this is our Gary Code order.
Okay.
Okay.
And Councilwoman Hatcher, we're live on Facebook.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not going to say.
We're just getting ready here. Hi, Carl Thompson. How are you? Susan Holder, Councilman Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
It is going forward. He's still here. He's still here. He decided to hang around. Yes. I don't know who reports that out, though. I guess whoever's over planning now. Oh, he got what he wanted. That's good. Gotta pay for something, I guess. Voting.
So, on special committees, there's only one person per. How you gonna have a meeting with yourself?
Hey, I guess that's what you do. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Hey, Darwin.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Gary Common Council meeting January 13, 2017, within the 6 o'clock hour. I will ask that everyone that can and will stand for the prayer and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Moore will lead us in our prayer on this evening.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for you have and the compassion that we show toward others. May the efforts of this common council and this administration be steadfast and accomplishing great things for this city in this new year. Shield these leaders from the fiery darts that tend to pierce the wall of success. We pray for prosperity in finance, prosperity economically, in health, and in the fellowship with one another as we progress through the year 2017. We pray your blessing will be abundant upon all the citizens of this city throughout this year. In the mighty and precious name of Jesus our Christ our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown. Councilwoman Caldwell. Here. Councilwoman Hatcher.
Here.
Councilman Proto.
Present.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Present.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilwoman Sparks Wade.
Here.
Councilwoman Wyatt.
Present.
And President Brooke.
Here.
Mr. President, there are 9 present, 0 absent.
With 9 present and 0 absent, we do have a quorum to conduct the business of the city of Gary. Madam Clerk, before we go any further, at this time I would like to, a motion be made for the Gary Common Council 2017 committee list at this time. This is for the committee list that we have before us. I would like a motion to be made at this time to accept.
Mr. President, I move that the committee chairs or committee members that you have assigned be approved.
Is there a second? Second. Moving properly second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Discussion? Is there any discussion
There's no discussion.
on a motion?
Go ahead.
That's
Go ahead, out
crazy.
loud. Go ahead. Councilwoman.
That's the
Well,
rules.
I just received the listing, and I see that you've only got 3 people listed on finance. Do we normally have more than that?
No, it's at the discretion of the chair.
How does he have to tell you that?
Well, what,
It doesn't stop any members from attending any meetings.
yeah.
All council meeting members have the right to attend any meeting. These
Will
are
we
just the
be
actual
notified
committees.
of all the meetings then?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be notified of all the meetings within this session that we're in here. So no meeting will be done without your knowledge.
Okay, I mean, because I noticed that none of the new members on the council are on any of the substantive committees.
don't have
like
any new
Finance
members.
and planning. Well, relatively new. People who've been on only a year.
Well, you are on committees if you look at your list.
Well, when I look at, I see finance as Brown, Caldwell, and Smith. Well, I guess Herb is new, so that would count. But I'm just really surprised that a vocal minority is not included in here.
Well, I believe there was surprises last year also, and we didn't have a discussion on it. It was accepted, and we moved on.
I don't see anything wrong with having discussions on things.
We're discussing now, I just said that same thing happened last year. There was committee chairs set, and the way they were set, everyone dealt with it, and we moved on with it. It
Right.
did not stop any council member from coming to any meetings that they felt like they wanted to attend.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher.
No.
Councilman Proto.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers.
No.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Wade,
No.
Councilwoman Wyatt,
No.
and President Bowie.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 4 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 4 no, the committee chair for the Gary
Yes,
Common
yes.
Council 2017 has been approved, so ordered. Council pending ordinances and resolutions. Oh, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
Mr. President, I move the minutes from the previous meeting be adopted.
For a second, there's a second by Councilwoman Caldwell. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher,
No.
Councilman Coco,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers, Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Wade,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt,
Yes.
and President Bowie.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 7 yes, 8 yes, 1 no.
With a vote of 8 yes, 1 no, the minutes from the previous meeting has been adopted, so ordered. Signing council pending ordinance and resolution on first reading.
CPO 2016-103, an ordinance authorizing the city of Gary to ratify temporary interfund loans to the general fund in order to repay 2016 tax anticipation loan, sponsored by Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, City of Gary, Selena Green, City Controller.
Finance.
Mr. President, and the assignment of pending ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you.
Mr. President, Finance Committee has before 2016-103. For the record, approval orders reporting out to the council. Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Mr. President, majority of the Finance Committee has approved CPO 2016-103 for reporting out to the council.
Thank you. At this
Mr.
time,
President, the Finance Committee would like to report out CPO 2016-103.
thank you, Councilwoman Brown. At this time, I entertain conversation for special and select.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Brown.
I'd like to extend condolences to the family of Mr. Leonard Parker. Many people knew Leonard. Leonard was, we called him Car Wash. He was the guy who walked up and down the street and washed cars, you know, for just about everybody. Walked up and down, let a family wash cars, washed cars all over. Anyway, he passed away. His service is going to be Thursday at Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church. So I'd certainly like to extend my condolences to his entire family. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman White.
I'd like to express my condolences to the family of Ken Carr, who was a very active community member in the First District. He was an excellent cyclist, and he will be truly missed by our community. I also wanted to say a Happy New Year to everyone here in the city of Gary. And although this is only my second year on the council, and I think that we've gotten off to a rocky start, I look forward to working together with the rest of the council members where possible, so that we can do what's best for the city of Gary, because that is our ultimate goal, and I believe sincerely that that's the goal of each of these council members, while we have different approaches. And finally, I'd like to say that I was concerned with the information that came out that our attorney for the council had responded to the State Board of Accounts regarding an audit exception without notifying the council of that. I understand that he may have notified certain members of the council, but the majority of the council was not notified of that. Thank you.
I'd like to address that.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Normally, when the State Board of Accounts sends, that notice was not sent to the entire council. That notice is only sent to me and someone else. And I resent your bringing that up on the floor. Now, just a minute. I resent your bringing that up on the floor because this is not business of the council. This is business that has to do with what was happening to me. This is business was happening to the 3rd District Councilwoman, not to the 1st District Councilwoman Wyatt. So this is not the place for you to bring that up. This is not the time nor the place. And the State Board of Accounts had no reason to notify you. They had reason to notify me, which they did. And so it was nothing to notify you. And I just resent your bringing that up on the floor at this time. You know, and I was attempting to try to, you know, I don't know, try to make sure that you understood what was happening with that. But apparently you don't want that. You know, I have been here for many years. I don't need you to come and try and straighten me out in terms of what I need to be doing on this council. What I need you to do is mind your business in the 1st District. I will handle mine in the 3rd District. Thank you.
Somebody's out of order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's clear.
Attorney Williams.
not that I will even address the allegations before this meeting, just for the edification and education of the public and maybe some council members. The State Board of Accounts audit process is a confidential process. In fact, you have to sign a confidential disclosure at the end of that process, and you will not share the information with anyone. I have an email that I will address to Councilwoman Sparks Wade a little later tonight, explaining why I won't answer her questions. And I'll point her to the audit exit documentation where I am bound by law to maintain the confidentiality of those entire discussions. For those who've never experienced an audit exit exam, they may not know that, but that is a requirement. You sign an affidavit to that effect, and that is why I didn't share with anyone my invitation. I surely didn't invite myself to that audit. My invitation to the audit is due to my obligation of confidentiality. Thank you.
Mr. President.
May I respond just
Well,
briefly?
let me be fair and let Councilwoman Wade go ahead and speak.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone, and I'm looking forward to working again on the council for this new year. And in response to both Councilwoman Wyatt, Councilwoman Brown, and Attorney Renzer Williams, I too was a part of the exit interview for that process as finance chair. And I signed a letter of confidentiality as well with the disposition that once the publication has been made, as a matter of fact, it was supposed to have been 70 days from that exit interview. And once the findings became public knowledge, then the discussion can be held. And so if you look on the website of State Board of Accounts, that decision came out on October 14th, and it was published on the website. And that is where Councilwoman Wyatt's concern is, not that anything is confidential anymore. It's a matter of public record.
That's true.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there anyone else?
I don't want to get into
Well,
any deep. Just want to say
Wait,
Okay.
Councilwoman Brown, let me go back to Councilwoman Wyatt. She was, no, let me make sure there's no one else want to speak first.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that has not spoken yet would like to speak? Before I go to another round. Councilman Schwartz.
I would like to read this about the donations from the second section. Should I do that now or should I wait?
You can do it now.
Please accept the donations from the following vendors who contributed to the holiday stepping session. On the sale of December the 16th at the Genesis Center. Gary Public Transportation, American Royal, Night Diamonds, Sincere Bank, Lime Metmount, Sharon Chambers, Rebecca White, Republic Frame, Washington Kelly, Mary Drive, Ernest Shelby, Attorney Robert Lewis, Michael Sudbury, see that man, see my man, Michael Crowe. And it was a total amount of $1,345, which would be distributed between Roosevelt Academy, Roosevelt Career College Academy, Westside Leadership Academy, and Work Emerson Performing Arts. So I guess I make a motion for the council to approve this donation,
What was that total there again, Councilman?
$1,345.
There's a motion on the floor at this time to accept the donation from the stepper set that took place in December for $1,345. The second by Councilwoman Brown. Roll call on acceptance of the donation.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher,
Yes.
Councilman Proto,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Wade,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt,
Yes.
and President Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
Vote of 9-0. The donation from December has been accepted for $1,345. Thank you, Councilman Porter.
Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Rogers.
First of all, I see Kendra Johnson here, and it's really nice to see you and to have you here with us. And I just want to publicly thank my colleagues for their gracious gifts, donations to the family. I really, really appreciated it. Because of what occurred, there's just a lot of things that the family need right now, and I was just very, very pleased that I was able to get the council to come together for Ms. Johnson, who not only attends our meetings, but she's so active in the culture group, and she's very active with the student system, and this is really, really good. And I just want to again thank my colleagues. I really appreciate that. But a few concerns that I had. And last council meeting, I believe, the mayor mentioned about there was a meeting that I had and some of her staff, some of her team with the South Shore Commons. So I'm hoping to get to find out what's going on with their concern regarding lighting at that facility. I also contacted the Board of Works regarding all three of these issues: South Shore Commons lighting, standing water on 15th Avenue at the Dalton Apartments. That's been happening for years. The last I was told was that there was a meeting regarding that. And then 24th Avenue and Virginia Street, the railroad gate is down. And that is an active railroad track. And so I'm very concerned about that. It's been down for some time now. And so, Mayor, hopefully you'll be able to at least address the South Shore Commons, because I don't know if people are aware of the other two issues. Thank you, Mr. President.
Actually, good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. I am very aware of South Shore Commons. I rode by there shortly after the meeting, as well as the chief and deputy chief. There are two things that are underway. First, there are lights behind the area, and those are NIPSCO poles. So we have requested that NIPSCO fix those poles. We have the numbers, have turned them in, have requested that they fix them because it's right on, I believe that would be 20th place. And that would add a tremendous light because it's two standard size NIPSCO poles. The other is a conversation that we are currently engaged in with the trustee to light the area next to the cemetery,
Yes.
which would make a tremendous difference. And she's already expressed her willingness to do that. I think they're just working through the logistics. Now, I'm not aware that the 24th and Virginia Railroad crossing is, you're saying the gate is down all the time?
No, I'm sorry, the gate has broken. And it's
Oh,
on
it's
the
a
ground.
broken gate,
It's
okay,
broken.
all right.
And,
Then we'll get that.
yeah, one of the gates.
Okay, all right. And then the standing water near the Dalton, I will get with the sanitary district and find out about the source of that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
And Councilwoman, I could just speak to that rail gate on 24th in Virginia.
Yes.
That gate has been hit in the past month 3 times. I met with some of the railroad people out there, I believe it was Friday, and they was out there assessing it, and they were trying to see if they can reposition that gate any kind of way. They're thinking that gate may have been in the way during the time we had snow at one point in time, but this last time it was hit, it was dry out there. So they're looking to try to see if they can reposition that gate at this time. But that's the 3rd time that gate's been hit, and it's not just the gate, the whole crossing is down on one side. So they're looking to try to get that fixed as soon as possible. So they are aware of it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councilwoman, anybody else?
Just,
Councilwoman White.
I just wanted to say that Councilwoman Brown, I meant no disrespect. I did not bring up your name. My concern was with the council, the majority of the council, not being notified of a response to the State Board of Accounts, and that was all.
Mr. President, that matter is in litigation, and if anybody has any questions or concern, my comment to them would be to contact Attorney Gloria Slut. He is the counsel for that matter. So that's,
Oh, I have a quick question then.
it's in litigation.
Then why did our attorney respond to your situation since it's your situation?
That would,
I'll answer that.
Oh, thank you.
Attorney, it was at the time, so I can make this clear.
Yes.
There was no situation concerning Ms. Brown directly. There
Mm-hmm.
was an audit finding on this council.
Yes.
I responded to the audit finding of the council.
Right.
Not to
Now,
Ms.
can you
Brown.
clarify what that audit finding was? Well, I thought it's been released.
Well, I still think it's pending litigation, and I'm not going to discuss pending litigation, and I.
It's a council pending litigation. That's what I'm asking.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. I'm not representing Mary Brown, Councilwoman Brown. Everything that, as Councilwoman Sparks Wade indicated, is on the internet, the results, all that's there. I feel I don't want to come close to breaching any ethical responsibility to anyone, so I'll reserve not to comment on it. However, just to be clear, because the paper was wrong yesterday, and I got that
I didn't see the
retraction.
paper yesterday.
Well, it stated that I was her attorney,
Oh.
and they did retract that. And I'm not going to get any opinion news this morning. But again, I never responded to anything on behalf of Councilwoman Mary Brown in her personal statement. I responded at the request. I was requested by the State Board of Accounts. I didn't enter into this on my own to attend the exit interview, and I was requested by the State Board of Accounts to write a position on the findings. I did that as council attorney, as I would to any other audit findings brought against this council. So I just want to be very clear on that. At no time did I represent Councilwoman Mary Brown personally. I simply responded to the audit findings, as I have done since I've been the attorney for the council on all audit findings, that I was requested to attend and answer.
So is a copy of your response to the audit finding available?
Yes.
And that is on the State Board of Accounts website?
Yes.
So at no time in that audit finding did you indicate that you were responding on behalf of Mary Brown?
Not as her person. I was responding on behalf of the audit finding of Councilwoman Mary Brown as a member of this body.
So the
Not
audit
personally.
finding on the council was specifically related to Mary Brown?
The one that I addressed was, yes.
Was there any other audit findings?
Yes, of course.
Did you respond to those as well?
I was not requested to by the State Board of Accounts.
The State Board of Accounts only requested that you respond to the audit finding that occurred based on whatever Councilwoman Mary Brown did.
Again, yes, that's what I previously stated.
Okay, thank you. That's a bit more clear. And I think that does have to do with the entire council. And I think that even if we cannot be privy to the information that was put out by the State Board of Accounts or to your response until it was released, I think it's important that every council member know that at the very least there is an audit finding and that you will be responding. And then that way, when news articles come out or, because I didn't know, I had no idea, and I didn't know it had been released. I didn't know it was released October such and such. I had a call from a reporter saying, hey, have you seen the audit finding? I had not. I read it, but I do recall at the beginning of the year asking about the issue. Once the issue came out with the council member in East Chicago and Hammond, and I remember us discussing, did this same law apply to Councilwoman Mary Brown? And clearly it was an issue, and I just had no idea that it was. So I would just ask, just as with everything that impacts the Gary City Council, that at the very least council members be made aware. And I understand that's probably not your responsibility, Attorney Williams. I understand it's probably the president's responsibility to make sure that the council is aware, or I would assume it's somebody's responsibility in some type of authoritative position.
Is everyone through talking? I'm not sure. This matter is in litigation, and if anything is in litigation, I will not take it upon this floor to discuss it. Now, if there's anything that you have any concerns about, everyone has my number. There's always ways to reach me or any of your other colleagues. Call them with this information. I don't believe this is the setting for this. This is not even what's on the agenda for us to deal with tonight. But I understand the questions and some of the concerns that are tonight. Some of them are legitimate. But at the same time, a lot of this stuff could have been avoided by a phone call. We see each other almost on a weekly basis. And we're talking about from October up until now, I know someone has had this question in their head where they could address it before tonight. But let me go to a little more serious matter.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. President.
No. We're done.
Mr. President, I want to say that it's your responsibility as the president to make sure that council members are aware of issues, not the other way around, Mr. President.
So going to a more serious matter here. In the past month, we have had 4 young people to die in fires inside our community. 4. And inside the last ones I just went to was possible homicides. Now, what outrages me, no one has said anything on this council about that. I went to a funeral to see 3 little kids in a casket, innocent. And the pastor that delivered that sermon is sitting right there in the back. And I watched the pastor deliver to a family a eulogy. How do you eulogize kids? I watched the pastor go into his office and have to get himself together after eulogizing 3 kids. There's so much going on in this community when we talk about the crime that's going on inside the community. And we don't talk about those issues. This is what affects our residents right here. That was an entire apartment complex affected by this. A neighborhood affected by it. A city affected by this. With the loss of Miss Johnson's child, and with the loss of these 3 little kids here. 3. I have 3 obituaries here. It upsets me. And I'm sorry if I offend any council member here, but I do apologize. But it upsets me. And when I spoke at the funeral, I spoke from this same standpoint. I'm upset. I'm disgusted. We continue to bury our youth at record numbers in our community. We had over 46, 47 homicides last year. And no one said a word. Not a word here. I brought the police chief here. Nobody questioned the police chief about anything. But we got families sitting here right now going through. But we want to sit up and argue about something that's inside of litigation already? This is the beginning of the year. And we're talking about pushing our city forward and making a difference. People don't see any growth inside our city when they see us sitting here fussing and going back and forth with each other. That's not what they put us here for. It's not. Let the courts do what the court's going to do. If there's anything going on with any of us, let the courts handle it. I understand concerns, but to cast stones on each other sitting here when we got 100 different issues going on inside our community is wrong. And you all know the issues because they're inside your district. When you have your committee meetings, people are lining up to give you a list long of what problems that they have. Some basic, some hard, some you cannot solve. But we need to stick to the issues on this year. We really do. Sorry if I really offended you all, but I take it personal. I really do. I lost 2 friends at a young age when I was growing up. We buried 2 of them. And to continue to sit here in a position that I'm in now, authority position where I can make a difference, and we sit here and we go round and round with each other, arguing with each other, it doesn't make any sense, you all. It really doesn't.
Mr. President, if I could just...
Councilman Rogers.
If I could just say that when I met to be with Kendra Johnson and her grandson at her grandson's visitation and funeral, I had never been to a funeral with a child. And it was horrific. And, you know, I guess I could say that I know all the members sent condolences letters regarding this fire involving the 3 children. It was just so horrific. I didn't talk about it, but clearly it's very, very painful. It really is. So, I mean, I do understand what you're saying, and I was not in a good place when I went to visitation because it's a trouble, like you said. So I understand.
Mr. President?
Councilwoman.
I go to funerals all the time, and I don't broadcast that I've gone to a funeral. You should let your alms be done in secret. However, what I am offended about is the fact that you're hollering at adults, at elected officials, and I'm disrespected by that. And not only that, each council member can talk about whatever they want to discuss at any time. Therefore, Mr. President, I would appreciate if you would not fuss at adults, because we are grown and we are elected officials, and we are not your children. We are duly elected, and your responsibility is to preserve order, not to chastise us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let me just say, and I will not be responding to that, but I would just say I'm tired of picking up my newspaper and seeing heinous crimes happening inside our community. I'm going to speak out on it. I'm going to continue to speak out on it. Mr. Razuli came to this mic and he spoke about the harsh music that our kids endure listening. He talks about some of the different things that we see inside our public facilities. When you go to these restrooms, in these gas stations, they're sitting up there on the front of the podium as you pay for a different event. It's sitting there. And I'm going to request that our attorney or the law department draft an ordinance called Bounty. That we will put, it's called Bounty, where we will put a dollar figure on the heads of people that could commit murder inside our community. Just like they take out contracts to harm people, we will take out a contract to lock you up. It's time for us to take a stand inside our community and take a strong stand. This is not normal. And if I yell, No intention of treating anyone like you're my kids, because I respect each and every last one of you. You are grown adults, you are elected officials to do a job. And I appreciate that you do the job that you do. I really do. But this really upsets me, and I did apologize, and I apologize again if I offended anyone. But this really bothered me to see this on today. And this is not my first time that I went to funerals before. But something, every now and then, something really strikes your nerve. And to see mothers and see fathers sitting up there, when it's not the design for kids to bury their parents. Designed for parents to bury their kids. It's designed for kids to bury their parents. That's the design, not the other way around. So if you was offended, I apologize. But really, we all should be offended by the heinous crime that's going on. That doesn't need an apology. Roll call on third and final, Madam Clerk.
CPO 2016-83, an ordinance of the City of Gary authorizing issuance of revenue bonds for trust providing funds to pay the cost of certain local public improvements consisting of the construction of and improvements to the system of roads and highways of the city, providing for the safeguarding of the interests of the owners of said bonds, other matters connected therewith, and repealing ordinances inconsistent herewith. Sponsored by Mayor Carol Freeman Wilson, City of Gary, City Green, City Controller.
Mr. President, I'm not sure if this ordinance was referred or not.
It was.
It was referred.
All three.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President, I move that CPO 2016-83 be referred.
There's a second on the deferral. Second. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on deferral.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher,
Yes.
Councilman Proto, Councilwoman Rogers,
Yes.
Councilman Smith, Councilwoman Sparks Wade,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt,
Yes.
and President Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
Vote of 9-0, CPO 2016-83 has been deferred.
CPO 2016-84, an ordinance of the City of Gary appropriating the proceeds of the local real revenue bond, sponsored by Mayor Councilman Wilson, City of Gary, Salida Green, City Controller.
Mr. President, I move that CPO 2016-84 be referred back to the Finance Committee.
There's a second on deferral.
Second.
And properly second by Councilwoman Caldwell. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on the deferral.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher,
Yes.
Councilman Proto, Councilwoman Rogers,
Yes.
Councilman Smith, Councilwoman Sparks Wade,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt,
Yes.
and President Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
Vote of 9-0, CPO 2016-84 has been deferred.
CPO 2016-101, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana, petition Muhammad Al-Zain, 723 James Richardson Drive, Cherville, Indiana, property at 4293 Broadway, Gary, Indiana.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
the Planning Committee has council committee ordinance 2016-91 for approval. For the record, I approve ordinance 2016-1. For reporting out. Councilman Rogers.
No. You're on third and final. Is there a second? You're on third and final. Then second by Councilwoman Caldwell. Overview at this time. Mrs. Hurst coming.
Good evening, members of council.
Good evening.
Audience members. I have Mr. Mohammed Abazar, excuse me if I mispronounce his name, who would like to open up a use pilot at 4293 Broadway. He did apply for a special use permit and he went before the PTA and
was favorably recommended. We mailed out 63 letters to businesses and neighbors within a 300 feet radius of the property. 3 were not opposed, 11 were returned undeliverable, and 49 came back no response. This property is approximately 7,947 square feet. Mr. Muhammad would like to sell cars on both those lots. He is currently the owner of the lot. He has agreed to do the landscaping and to beautify that particular corner. At the present time, he is currently renovating that property, and he is here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Hurd. Say, any question from any council members at this time? Thank you, Ms. Hurd. Night for public portion. Anyone would like to speak for or against this ordinance? You may come up to the mic. You have 3 minutes to speak on TPO 2016-101.
Supervisor Acting Mr. Russo. First of all, I'd like to say I'm for the ordinance. Second of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody out there. If anybody wondering why I got this thing on my head, I worked on the car, helping my buddy out. My hair is beautiful. So I'm not trying to be cool. I don't stand. I'm just dirty. Anyway, you know, I see this council people down the country like usually being
That's my buddy.
but I'm not even gonna complain. Since he's not here, and I'm the only person who usually rather than gone, I'm gonna give y'all the early Christmas present. I'll make it short, peaceful, and timely, and maybe y'all can get out here early. You know, I'm for this ordinance because I am pro-Gary. Anything to better Gary, I'm for it. Everybody in this town should be pro-Gary. I figure my theory is, if you're going to be pro-Gary, or you're going to be pro-Gary, and soon there will be no Gary. That means we need to work in unison. You know, I often complain about individuals coming here and setting up shop for businesses and not staying. However, this particular individual stays in the state of Indiana, which is a rarity. I welcome you, sir, first of all, and I know that is a hard place. As a matter of fact, I rented that place myself many years ago, so what you were doing. Anyway, I welcome anyone who wants to come here and beautify some property while they are opening up a business. I welcome anyone who wants to fill up a spot. I welcome anyone who wants to maintain their area because Lynn Park used to have a heck of a reputation, and you come the other direction, which is from 4th on Broadway. That there is also an area around which, in other words, it represents Gary both directions. So, Lynn Park has a way to go, just like Gary, but Gary being detoured overnight. And again, sir, I'm glad that you come in. I welcome you personally. And I'm not just saying I had that for a long time ago. And, you know, I commend you because many businesses came and gone. And the killing part about it is, you know, I think anyone who wants to come and set up a shop in our town based on the fact of, despite the fact that you're supposed to have a bad reputation, that's just coming from outside. You know, so, despite that, I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
All right, just some reservations concerning this. I've been in this city 26 years. This is my 26th year here. When I first got here, most of the gas stations weren't even open. They were abandoned. This a lot of things are abandoned now and property abandoned. Just like in some of the areas in the Midwest, a lot of people who don't really reside in the community come in the community. And I just don't know if we can say that they have bettered the community or they just bettered themselves or taken advantage of our struggling community. I just want us to be careful of that because it happens so often in oppressed communities. And I said it a couple weeks ago, I heard one of my comments said in Chicago that it is embarrassing sometimes being oppressed. It really is. And so, I don't know, again, we're like 85% African in Mississippi. And all of the stores pretty much in the city are not ran by us. We're continuing to do more and more businesses. And I need money, and we're desperate in so many ways, but we just have to be careful. Just try to build people up to live in. I just have some concerns with that. And hope you all will be concerned and keep that in mind as you make the decisions, the tough decisions in the struggling community that we live in.
Good evening, love bugs. This is Ann Walker, and I'm glad to see you come, Gary. All I want to know, are you going to be your daddy? Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Public portion is now closed. Is there any comments from any council members? I have, seeing enough from council member, I have a couple of questions. Mrs. Hurd, order petitioner. I would like to know exactly how many cars will be housed at that lot and about the signage. This is the lot that's on the east side of Broadway, is that correct? Yes. Where they're doing some painting and they have cleaned up real good over there. I remember the last petition that was here came nowhere close to doing a great job that they're doing now at that facility. But I would like to know about how many cars there, what's the late model that they will be selling on the lot, and about the signage also.
Approximately 30 cars will go there. Today, when he asked that question at committee hearing, he said he did not want to go up to 2009. He wants to go from 2009 and upwards, not go down because of the expense and the time it would take to do repairs. He's going to also do minor repairs there, but it's going to be on the cars that he's bringing in. It's not going to be repairs over the public. And as far as the signage is concerned, he's going to come back before us to show us the type of signage he's going to put there. We have to make sure, we will make sure that it complies to the sign ordinance before we approve it.
Well, I'd like to say, I think you've done a tremendous job. I just seen a picture of what it used to look like. You have brought it a long ways, and Councilwoman Sparks-Maurice should really be appreciative of that, because that sits on a direct corner inside of her district at the same time. But this time I entertain the third and final, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher?
Yes.
Councilman Proto?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks-Wade?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt?
Yes.
And President Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
With a vote of 9-0, CPO 2016-101 has passed on all three readings, so ordered.
CPR 2016-14, a resolution declaring official intent of the City of Gary to reimburse expenditures, sponsored by Mayor Karen Wilson, City of Gary, City Degree, City Controller.
Mr. President, I move the CPR 2016-14 be referred back to the Finance Committee with the Finance Committee meeting on January 10th at 5:30 p.m. And Mr. President, I'm sorry, the other two ordinances, CPO 2016-83 and 2016-84, also should have been referred back for that same day on the 10th at 5:30.
Is there a second?
10th.
Yes. Move properly second by Councilman Caldwell. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher?
Yes.
Councilman Proto?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks-Wade?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt?
Yes.
And President Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
With a vote of 9-0, CPR 2016-14 has been referred back to committee.
Mr. President, executing orders and resolutions on third and final.
Council Senate orders and resolutions on first reading.
CPO
Second reading, I'm sorry, second.
CPO 2016-103, an ordinance authorizing the City of Gary to ratify temporary interfund loan to the general fund in order to repay 2016 tax anticipation loan, sponsored by Mayor Karen Wilson, City of Gary, City Degree, City Controller.
Mr. President, I move passage of CPO 2016-103 on second reading. There's a Finance Committee meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 10th at 5:30 p.m.
Is there a second?
Public hearing, I'm sorry, on January 17th.
Meeting and public hearing on the 17th. I'm ready to move properly second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hatcher?
Yes.
Councilman Petro?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Day?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt?
Yes.
And President Moore.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 9-0.
Vote of 9-0 on TPO 2016-103 is going back to the Finance Committee, January 10th, 2016 at 5:30 p.m.
Mr. President, in speaking ordinances and resolutions on second reading.
At this time, we will have report from the mayor at this time.
Again, good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. I just want to add our condolences to the families, first of Jaden Mitchell and Alea Pickens, and their family, as well as the family of the Alea Coleman and their family. But I also want to add with those condolences, and we have been in communication with the family since the tragedy on Christmas Eve. I want to add my sincere thanks to the members of the Gary Fire Department and the members of the Gary Police Department, as well as the members of the clergy. I see Reverend Bynum leaving, but I can only imagine not just serving the family today, but trying to serve the family up until this day. You know, as a parent, it's unimaginable, but as a member of this community. And what I will tell you is that the leadership and the members of both Gary Fire Department and the Gary Police Department have been working consistently, both to support the family, to investigate the cause of the fire, to make sure that the responsible party or parties is held accountable. And, you know, Facebook can be a very useful and productive tool, but we have seen it not be as productive in this circumstance. And so I would just ask people to really think twice before you judge people. You know, I've heard people say all kinds of things about this situation and really not know anything about it. And so I would ask that we all, you know, just be a little temperamental in our judgment of each other. Also, I wanted to make people aware that on January 19th, there is a access point rally. Many of you know that when you are trying to access mental health services, that sometimes you have to leave the city, even though we do have access to Edgewater. But we're trying to ensure that we have an access point for both mental health and other substance abuse and other mental health services. And that behavioral health rally will be Thursday, January 19th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. That will be at Ivy Tech, 1440 East 35th Avenue in Gary. So we hope that you will join us, because it's important to make sure that our citizens have access to health care. Finally, I would offer condolences to the family of Florida, or Kimberly Joyner. Mother's name is Florida, but Reverend Elder Kimberly Joyner was funeralized last week, and we would certainly offer her mother of Florida, Brother Royal, and their entire family, condolences as well.
Madam Mayor, I know we're closed on January the 16th here in City Hall, but is there any type of celebration that's taking place? I know we have a celebration on the west side, but I haven't seen anything from the committees that will be hosting an event.
It's my understanding that there will be a celebration at West Side. In fact, I've received a request to attend. Let me see if I can get some information before the meeting adjourns, which should be quick, because I know that there is a session at West Side, and I believe it starts at, you know what, why don't I do this? Should be on my calendar. Yes, the 48th Annual Ecumenical Service will be at Westside Leadership Academy at 10 a.m. on January 16th, and the theme for this year is the call to stand tall and serve.
Is there any questions for the mayor from any council members at this time? Seeing none, at this time we have a couple of speakers, Mr. Riso.
No, Mr.
Is there
Mr. President,
1 minute, Mr. Riso? Ms. Councilwoman White.
on the agenda, I thought that we have new business first, before the public comment.
Asking about him. Is there any, well, go ahead,
I move that we submit a request for proposals or qualification for a council attorney.
Second.
I understand that we already have a contract with the council attorney, but this would not preclude the council attorney from submitting a response to requests for proposals or qualifications. I just think that it's important to make this position available to any other members in the bar, in Gary, that would, that may be interested in it. And also, it's important to us as a council that all of our employees and our consultants are residents of the city of Gary.
Is there any other comments at this time? We had a conversation with the attorney about his residence requirement, and I thought it was all discussed with the council members. You had no comments? Or?
I have not heard that he has moved into the city. Since I do believe that we had an executive session sometime last year when we asked if he would be willing to move, and he said that he would, but I've not heard that he has. And I think, I just think that it's important to open this up and see if there are other members who are currently residents of the city who may be interested.
I personally have really no objection to it, but contracts get signed at the beginning of the year, and this request was not brought up any time during our budget session at all.
Right,
and I believe that would have been the proper setting if there was something that we were going to take, if we discussed it then during that budget session.
Well, Mr. President, it was, I did not bring it up in the budgeting session because it was budgeted for an attorney, but I thought that we would, as a council, have an opportunity to either approve or disapprove the attorney's contract, and we did not. However, I have looked at the contract that he had last year, and it does allow the council with 30 days notice to cancel it if we need to. And I'm not saying that Attorney Williams should not apply. I'm just saying that we should have a request for qualifications to go out to see if there are any other attorneys who may be interested.
I would deem that this. Go ahead, Councilwoman White.
I would just like to point out that during the budget session, we spent a lot of time regarding residency issues, regarding City of Gary employees. We spent a lot of time on that. In addition to that, there were members who signed off on making sure that as new jobs come up, that those jobs are filled by Gary residents. And so it really has nothing to do with the position, because I respect the office, whether it's the office of the mayor, office of the council, I respect people's position. And I just want to be clear that I signed off on the paperwork, on the form, because I was very serious. And I've talked about this over the years. I'm always asked about jobs that I cannot find for people. I always hear about people in the city looking for jobs. And there's no reason why 80,000 residents in the city, there is no reason why we can't fill all of these positions with Gary residents. And I feel that way, and I felt that way for a long time. And I'm not sitting here grandstanding because I talked about it over the years. I talked about my neighbor who graduated and could not get a job. So it has nothing, it's not personal at all. I just feel strongly that these jobs, when you look at our unemployment rate in the city of Gary, these jobs belong to the residents of the city of Gary. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Councilwoman Wade.
I concur with everything that Councilwoman Rogers has stated, as well as Councilwoman Wyatt. We spent a great deal of time talking about residency, and it would be hypocritical of this council to put so much emphasis on the residency of other city employees and not then require the same of our own council. Whether or not it's written somewhere that it doesn't have to be that way is fine. It's symbolic that we stand by what we preach, that we are standing by the residents of the city of Gary, and if there are attorneys in the city of Gary who would like to submit an RFP, a response to the proposal, then I think that they should be given an opportunity to do so. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Councilman Scott.
Okay, I was referring to those conversations about residents. You know, we need to be honest, and let's tell the truth. Residency is not about residents. It was about getting even with this gentleman right here. I was in those conversations. It was about getting even with him, destroying his life. I was there in those conversations. This was not about residents and citizens of Gary. Now, let's fast forward. When we talked about residency, we came to a compromise. We were willing to give people, because it was no fault of their own, that they were allowed to work here in the city of Gary, a time frame. Our grandfather, some of them in. We all agreed to that. Well, some of the majority of us did. But we're not doing that for the entire year. So if we're going to talk about residency, we agree as a body that certain people at a certain point, 5 years or more, would be grandfathered in, and through attrition, we would replace those people. Now we're talking about accelerated attrition here. Let's just get rid of it. I'm not going to be a part of that. I was there. I'm going to tell the truth, because God put me here for a reason. And this is about grandstanding. This is about getting even with people, and I want to be a part of that. Thank you.
Mr. President, let me be clear.
Let me make sure no one else, let me make sure no one else has anything they would like to say before I give you another round. Anyone?
Let me be clear.
Councilwoman Rogers.
I have been talking about this long before Councilman Smith came on this council. So to even suggest I mean, when you talk about grandstanding, you use the language that I use. I mean, I'm just saying that, I've been talking about this for a long time. It is nothing personal at all. At one time, our legal advisor lived here and moved, which is his right to do that. And, you know, the only thing we're asking is that what was said earlier, and that is people in the city of Gary should be allowed to apply for municipal jobs, including the city council. Thank you.
Mr. President, second round. Robert's Rules of Order states that no member of a body is supposed to make any sort of accusations according to what that person's intent is. And so Councilman Smith is out of order to insinuate anything negative about anyone's intentions on this body. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I was just going to tell the truth. That's the reason I was here to tell you. And that's what I did. To the best of my knowledge and belief, I told you. People can take it for what it's worth. I told you. And I apologize, Council, if I wasn't talking about her.
My whole thing is with the timing of this. Like I said earlier, I had no problem if we took this matter up during our budget session or even before the year went out. But we wait till a new year starts. New contracts have been signed. Now, if this is something that the council would like to do towards the end of the year, going into 2018, that should be a conversation that we have. But to start off this year, as we have passed the budget and new contracts have been signed, which everyone knows contracts have to be signed before the new year, I don't deem that this is accurate in order at this time.
Mr. President, I have a quick question. I don't even have a statement because, you know.
Councilwoman Hatch.
I would like to know who authorized the signing of any, not specifically Attorney Williams. I guess you signed Mr. Moore's contract. Who authorized the signing?
The president always signs off on all
Tell
contracts.
me where, and I just really want to understand because I feel like last year a lot of things were happening that I felt like I really wasn't aware of. And I got this, you know, as the president kind of responds. I guess I'm wondering what the statute, the Gary City ordinance, where is this information that I can find?
You have said on this council before myself, and you know that the president has always signed off on those positions.
Well, let me tell you this,
You have
Mr. President.
compliance
I
officer.
did sit on this council 8 years ago. I think Ronye Scott was the president at that time. I always remember discussing these issues before contracts were signed, even if it was just a discussion amongst council members. I always remember the discussion. What I am asking you for, and I feel like over the last few years, some liberties have been taken that are not spelled out in the Gary City ordinance or in the Indiana State statute or anywhere else. So I agree, there are some serious differences under your presidency than I remember 4 years ago. So all I'm asking for is some backup. I just need to know, what are you authorized to do? Can you sign a contract on behalf of this council without a vote or without even an A or nay type of vote or something? I need to know where this authority is.
Councilwoman Hatch.
President, excuse me, I don't know where the ordinance is. I've been on this council for many years. Ever since I've been on this council, even when you were here before, Councilwoman after, it was always the purview of the president to sign off on those contracts. There was no argument. I'm not going to say there was no discussion.
There was discussion.
But there was no argument that it was within the president's purview to sign off on those contracts. That is the way it's been ever since I've been here. And so nothing has changed from the past year in terms of what Councilman Brewer has done as president since I've been here.
Well, as I said, I do recall discussion when it comes to the new year. So, and maybe it was just the discussion with me because I was the new council person, and maybe he figured he had everybody else's support on it. But I did get that discussion, and I'm just wondering, and it doesn't have to be a long discussion today. I just like to know, where can I find these council president authorities?
Okay.
Thank you.
At this time, Mr. Riso is coming.
Mr. President, there's a motion on the floor.
I have deemed it out of order.
You deem
Yes.
the motion out of order?
Yes.
You can't do that. It has to be voted on.
What makes it out of order?
You can feel my decision at this time if you like.
Okay. Well, before I do that, because much conversation has gone on.
Councilwoman, either you're going to appeal the decision now, we're moving forward.
Okay, no, because we're still in new business.
No, we're closing new business. We're going inside.
No, I haven't.
Councilwoman.
I haven't.
Are you appealing
It's
the
new
motion?
business. It's still new business.
No,
No, I'm
it's
not
not.
appealing the
We're
motion.
done with that.
I'm not
I called on
appealing.
Mr. Riso.
I'm not appealing the motion. But you haven't given anybody else an opportunity to talk about new business. You haven't, Mr. Riso, please have a seat.
Mr. Riso.
You
you're out
have
of order,
not,
Councilwoman.
but you have not given anybody else an
Yes, I have.
opportunity
You have
to
the
say new
opportunity.
business. It's
Yes.
only been one
We have
issue.
went around several times.
On one issue,
We
Mr.
have went around
President.
several times.
On one issue, Mr. President.
We should vote on the issue. It may fail, but at least it should put up for a vote.
Is anyone appealing my ruling?
No.
Okay, no one's appealing my ruling, so we're moving forward. Mr. Riso.
So are you silencing me, Mr. President, at this time? Mr. President, I am asking for the floor. Mr. President, I am asking for the floor. And according to Robert's Rules of Order, you can't deny me an opportunity to speak.
You have had your turn to speak. You spoke
Mr.
twice.
President,
Mr. Riso.
I spoke on one issue. But what I do want to do, Mr. Riso, please don't say anything while I'm speaking. Mr. President, what I do want to do is put forth in the Gary City Code where it is in Gary City Code that says purchasing must be done. Not only must it be done for $25,000 or more, any contract over $25,000 must be put in an RFP. And that RFP must be published along with all of the details of the RFP. And I want everyone to look it up and make sure that you see it in Gary City Code, Section 5, purchasing. Thank you very much. And the president does not have the president does not have the authority to sign anything except those less than $25,000.
Adjournment at this time? We're now adjourned.
Welcome to 2017. Thank you, everyone. It has been an interesting day.